three things that an employee would expect from organization. I believe, from me speaking from my experience as well as having conducted multiple interviews and speaking to so many staff, would be, one is they need to be rewarded fairly for the work that they do. And when I say fairly, it has to be kind of, if they perform, they need to be paid, and if they don't perform, I presume nobody would want to be compensated or seen someone else being paid the same amount for doing a lesser amount of work or for lesser contribution. So remuneration is and rewards and recognitions is definitely one thing. Second thing is a very good culture to perform in the sense to come up with new ideas, to implement, to experiment, to basically speak their mind. That is another thing that a lot of employees will definitely look forward and they'll appreciate. And I would say the third thing is opportunity to upskill themselves. So when they come in with certain knowledge, they will be bringing into the organization, but they can add more into the organization only if they can be trained and groomed to do things that they couldn't do even before they joined the organization. So you get on-the-job trainings, and there are certain custom curriculums that you need to introduce them, like maybe coding or mobile robotic process automation coding, or maybe mobile app development or something of that nature. It will also help them to short circuit and disrupt existing processes. On top of that, it will also help them to do things that they thought that they couldn't do even if they go to another company. So these things have worked for us, and I'm pretty sure that it will work for others also in the sphere of supply chain management. We retain and take care of our talent in multiple ways. So you get the financial and non-financial benefits that they receive. So if you take permanent staff, their bonus scheme, their remuneration is, we believe that is on par or better than the industry. And that's the reason for that is because the company is performing well, and we basically look after our customers well, and staff are the ones who look after the customers, so we need to look after our staff. So that is one angle that we focus on a key way. But when we say staff, especially in supply chain, we have the permanent staff and we have the contract staff. So one thing that many focus is they believe that the contract staff is not a part of the equation. No, we believe that they are very much a part of our equation. And for our contract staff, we have done so many initiatives from our end which has actually helped to retain them and get them to work with us like they are our permanent staff. So if you take from meals, when we give them the meals for breakfast, for lunch, we make sure that they have a healthy meal that they can come to work with energy and continue their job throughout the day. In addition to that, we have created things like manpower foundations, where we help manpower, the contract card. When they come to work, when they have a certain grievance, a personal issue or something like that, there are ways that we can help them financially and non-financially to help resolve their problems and take that headache away so that they can focus on their job. So these are just a couple of examples that we are mentioning, but we have a lot of employee engagement that we do, and both at the management level and at the senior management level, and we basically treat them like human beings. So this has helped us to increase the retention and do things that others are finding difficult to do in the industry. Decisive moment. I would say a decisive moment in my career would be to switching from hardcore sales and marketing from maybe pharmaceuticals, retails and so on into supply chain. And moving into supply chain had actually been one of the best moves that I have done, because I think I found purpose. Because I believe that more often than not, supply chain and just like in any other professions, the professionals tend to have two qualifications. One is they either focus on supply chain and finance, or even take marketers also have a tendency of selecting marketing and finance. But in my case, I chose marketing and supply chain. So supply chain is a beautiful platform and a beautiful tool that once you put it once you look at it from a customer's point of view, there are so many new products and services and innovations that can give birth. And I'm excited that there are about 3 projects that we are working on at this point in time. And you can actually use supply chain to identify, anticipate and satisfy customers' needs and wants. and bring a service element into the physical product through supply chain. So I believe that it was quite accidental that I got into supply chain, and but it has paid off. It has paid off big time. One advice, there are so many tips that you can give, but one thing that worked for me is I changed companies at the right time. So it's not that when the heat was turned on, when the honeymoon was over, the 6 months probation was over, I didn't change jobs. I sat through it, I waited through it, and 2 years, 3 years, at the right time, when the right opportunity presented itself, you need to take it and go. So I'll give you an example why it worked like that. So I have worked in IT. I have IT qualifications. I have worked in retail. I have worked in pharmaceuticals. I have worked in logistics. It is when I came to logistics and I turned back and I looked, in case of maybe you are developing a supply chain solution for pharmaceuticals, my pharma experience paid off. If I'm looking at taking control or managing an online marketplace, then my experience with my retail that I have done and the websites that I have launched with them paid off. So when I turn back and I look at it, I can connect all the dots beautifully, because all the careers helped me to do what I'm doing now. But at that time when I looked forward, you can't connect the dots looking forward, as Steve Jobs mentioned. You need to always connect the dots. So it has worked out perfectly. So, and I feel that if I sat in one organization and went throughout the last 15-20 years in one organization, I would have not been able to do half of what I'm doing now. So keep moving, stay hungry, but move for the right reason. Advice that I can give to aspiring supply chain professionals is that if you take the old generation of supply chain professionals stumbled into supply chain by accident, because I don't think, even to date, more often than not, if you go and ask a mother or a father, what do you want your children to become, they'll say lawyer, doctor, engineer, or a banker. But when COVID hit, it was a supply chain professionals who actually made the world move in terms of getting food to the right doorstep, and even now as a part of a solution moving vaccines around. It's the supply chain professionals who move this. It's an exciting job, and it's an exciting career that you can venture into. It's glad to see that there are curriculums that are coming up customized towards building supply chain from ground up. So there are students who leave A levels, leave college, joining universities, joining private establishments to learn about supply chain. So you need to have your basics of supply chain, because supply chain technically is not a part of the school curriculum. So as soon as you get out of college or school, you need to focus on uplifting and gathering your required knowledge. And once you get that, find a good organization to go and implement that knowledge, to practice those theories and see whether those theories actually work in a localized situation. And once you do that, I would say that will be a very good combination between practical as well as theory, and that will help you to grow as a very good supply chain professional. And supply chain is a very lucrative frontier that is being disrupted by technology as well. So there will be a lot of new opportunities that are presenting themselves. So I hope that the professionals and the youngsters will actually step up to this opportunity and capitalize on them.